Psychological trauma leads to obesity. Would you like to know how? Keep watching. What is psychological trauma? It's a type of damage to the mind that occurs as a result of a severely distressing event. In other words, it's a wound in the heart from a traumatic event. What are the most common traumatic events? Death of loved ones, divorce, accidents, illness, disastrous events, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, social isolation, abandonment, emotional neglect, and the list goes on. It's all about the severe pain in the heart, isn't it? Yes, trauma is a result of an overwhelming amount of unbearable stress. Once again, let's underline the word stress. Yes, it's the key player in every scenario. Obesity, depression, anxiety, PTSD, borderline, and you name it. Wherever we go, we'd always bump into stress. The simple truth is, the direct cause of psychological trauma is nothing but stress. Now, the next question. How does trauma trigger obesity? That's easy to figure out. Trauma is already a direct result of extreme stress. We've already learned that what people do when they are under chronic stress. They cannot stop eating. Yes, it's the same old stress eating here, yet from another angle. And we also know that stress is responsible for complications in our digestive system. Now it's time to ask a simple question. What's the result of too much eating with a poorly functioning digestive system? That's right, obesity. Hard to believe? Let's see some evidence. Being subjected to abuse during childhood leads to a marked increase in the risk of developing obesity as an adult. Most of the obese people have suffered physical, sexual, and/or verbal abuse during their childhoods. Childhood sexual abuse often turns food into an obsession for its victims. Many become prone to binge eating. Those who experienced physical or sexual abuse as children were twice as likely to be addicted to food than those who did not. Toxic stress from childhood trauma causes obesity. Many people who are obese look at eating as a solution, not a problem. Food offers comfort, a temporary escape, and relief from stress, bad memories, shame, or guilt, even when obesity becomes uncomfortable or even life-threatening. Childhood trauma leads to adult obesity. Feel free to Google these statements and get it verified for yourself. People with trauma would easily get addicted to food, and their digestive system is already weak enough to convert the food they eat into fat. This is why they become obese. Now we've reached the most critical point in our journey. After many milestones, with all our quest to find the truth, now we know for sure that it is nothing but stress that's behind every complication. It could be obesity, or it could be a mental disorder such as depression, anxiety, and so forth. Behind every one of them is the same player. It's nothing but the psychological stress. It's precisely this point that we needed to establish beyond any doubt in the first place. And we've successfully done it. Successfully managing stress is the only clue to permanently solve the riddles of obesity and stress disorders such as depression. Now it's time for the next big question. What's the simplest and the most effective solution for successfully managing stress and wipe out obesity and stress disorders like depression for good? Precisely that's what we're going to find out next. Yes, it's time to connect some dots. Stay tuned. See you soon at the next milestone. Please subscribe to my channel to stay tuned.